Hello students, we are starting with the chapter of interstate disparities in the pattern of development. What is interstate disparity? Interstate means it is a regional disparity. Regional disparity means that few regions of the country are highly developed while others are quite backward. According to Professor N.J. Kurian, he has divided the regions into two parts, the regions which is situated at the center of India like Bihar, UP, Odisha, and the regions which are situated at the periphery of the country. He is of the opinion that the regions which are at the center, they are the backward, and the regions at the periphery, they are more developed. The pattern of interstate disparities. Now we will discuss about what are the disparities in the different aspects of the different states. First is contribution of different regions in NDP, net domestic product. If we talk about high income states like Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, they are sharing about around 14%, 8% and 7% of in the Indian net domestic product, while Bihar, Assam, Jharkhand, they are contributing only around 1 to 3% in the GDP, which shows that there is a disparity in the different states. Then let's talk about per capita income. Per capita income means per person income, which is calculated by dividing the national income with the number of persons. Like right here we have discussed about the high income states and low income states. If you talk about high income states, Goa, Haryana, Kerala, Gujarat, their per capita income is, they varies from 1 lakh 24,000 to 2 lakh 75,000 around. While in case of Bihar, UP, Assam, it is only 31,000 to 56,000. That shows that it is in thousands. The income per capita income of the low income states is in thousands, while the highly developed states, here the per capita income is around 2.75 lakhs. Then is agriculture production. If we talk about how much the share of state is holding in the India's food grain production, UP, Madhya Pradesh, they are having around 16%, 12%, 11 or 6.5% in the total food grain production. While we talk about Goa, Goa is a state which is contributing very less, around 0.05% share. Like Odisha 2.55 and Kerala is only 0.22, Chhattisgarh is 2%. Their aggregate is their contribution is less than 3% in the total food grain production of India. Agriculture productivity. Productivity is measured on the basis of per hectare production, right? Agriculture production, which the point last we have discussed, is the total production of the agriculture, food grain production. Agriculture productivity means per hectare, what is the production rate of the country. There are highly producing states like Punjab, Haryana, West Bengal. They are contributing around, their production is around 4,000 per hectare, 4,218 kgs, right? But in case of Maharashtra, it is only 1,000. Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, they are evolving around 1,000 to 1,200 kgs only. Industrial production and the development of in the factory sector. If we talk about what is the total value added in the manufacturing sector or the factory sector, Tamil Nadu is highest with the 20.3%. Maharashtra is 20.3%, Tamil Nadu is 10%, Bihar is only 0.2%. That means there is around 20 times more Maharashtra is contributing. Then development of infrastructure. In Punjab, Haryana, total irrigated area is around 98. Per capita power consumption is 310, motor vehicle 226, bank offices per 1 lakh person is 16, while in case of Bihar, it is only 61, 24, 30, and they are much times less than the other developed states. This is a lack of development of infrastructure is the basic reason behind the lack of development of the different backward states. Then is development of the private investment. States like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, they have received more investment proposals as compared to Bihar, Odisha. People don't want to, for even foreigners, private sector don't want to set up their industries in Bihar and Odisha in the backward areas because of less market opportunities there. They always want to set up where there is a more customer base, high per capita income of the people, so that they can sell their products at the remunerative prices. Then is national level financial institutions. They also providing assistance to the above mentioned developed states other than the other ones. Then is literacy rate. As per the census report 2011, Kerala has the highest literacy rate of 93%, while Bihar has only 63%. Because of the people are illiterate, they are having lack of training skills, they are not able to develop their states. Then is poverty line. There is in Bihar around 33% people are below poverty line. Chhattisgarh 40% people are below poverty line. Odisha 30%. Goa, Kerala, Punjab around 5 to 8% people are below poverty line. That means people belong to high income category or middle class. They are in contributing more in the development of the states. Then is infant mortality rate, IMR, right? Infant mortality rate means the children between the age of 0 to 1, how many children are going for the, they are having the death rate among the old infants of the age between 0 to 1 year per 1000 per annum. In backward states, there is a high IMR because of the poor health standards. They are not able to keep up the life of their infants. Then what are the reasons? We have studied there are a lot of regional imbalances in the below poverty line people, infant mortality rate, agricultural production, factory contribution, in the contribution of GDP, NDP. Now, what are the reasons that these regional imbalances exist? First of all, improper economic planning. That means our 5-year plans, 3 years plans, which are formulated by the government, they are insufficient. They are having some problems, failures. Lack of adequate infrastructure, proper infrastructure is not there in the backward states. Geographical factors, some of the states are having locational advantage, weather is very favorable for the agriculture, for the industrial products, while the other ones are facing the problems. Historical factors, that means Britishers have developed some of the areas which are growing while others remain neglected. Lack of basic amenities are not provided in the backward areas. Less initiative by the respective state government. Central government is giving the funds, but sometimes it is on the part of the state government that they are not able to develop their own states, right? So it depends upon the state as well. Effects of green revolution policy, which has focused only on Haryana, Punjab regions, other regions have remained neglected. Lack of proper credit facilities in the backward areas because of the lack of setup of the financial institutions in those areas. Funds don't reach the backward areas. Proper law and order situation, poor law and order situation in the different parts of the country, leading to the communal rights. There is no rights are going on in the different backward states because of illiteracy, because of difference in the literacy rate. So there is a proper law and order situation required, which is lacking in the backward regions. Political instability, government is not stable, political environment is not stable, which is leading to the regional imbalances. Every time whenever the new government comes, they try to develop certain different regions for their own benefits. That's why these are some of the causes of the regional imbalances. Government measures to remove regional imbalances. In order to remove these imbalances, government has tried a lot of measures to remove it. Special area development programs, depending upon the requirements of the areas, government has developed certain ADPs which will focus on those particular problems. Tax incentives are given in the backward regions. Those industries which are set up in the backward regions, they are given tax holiday. That means they need not to pay tax for the 5 years or 10 years. Then after that, tax subsidies are given, different rebates are given to them, incentives are given to them. More central funds, government is providing more funds in the 3-year plans towards the backward regions. Then government has also started central investment subsidy scheme. That means they have divided all the regions into 3 parts. Category A are highly backward regions. Here the person who will invest around 25% rebate will be, subsidy will be given to them with a maximum limit of rupees 25 lakh. Category B 15% rebate, maximum 15 lakhs. Then category C 10% rebate with a maximum limit of 10 lakh rupees, right? So all those who are investing in these 3 categories will get certain rebates. Then is concessional soft loans are given by various financial institutions like State Financial Corporation, State Industrial Development Bank of India, IFCI, IDBI. The main aim is to provide concessional loans, or called as soft loans. Backward region grant fund has been established by the government, which has replaced Rashtriya Samvikas Yojana. Then state government incentives in the form of concessional water supply, electricity, various tax exemption. Even the state government is also providing these exemptions to them. Development of the infrastructure has been developed by them so that every state can enjoy the benefits of the developed infrastructure. Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana. Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana means under this Yojana, every member of the parliament will have to adopt one village and they take the responsibility of its development. Like they have to adopt the village, they have to do certain works in order to develop them. They will act as a role model for the other villages as well. So these are some of the measures taken by the government. Now the last topic is what are the suggestions to remove this regional disparity. First of all, adequate monetary fiscal incentives, benefits in the budget should be given to the backward areas, proper allocation of the funds in the 5-year plans, development of the infrastructure, development of the small scale industries. Public sector enterprise should be developed because private sector are more oriented towards earning the profits. They don't go for the social welfare, which only the public sector enterprise would do. Check on the corruptive practices. Various corruptive practices which are undertaken, they should be kept a check by the government. Then special training programs should be developed for the backward areas so that they can enhance their entrepreneurial skills. So after that, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he wrote a book, and in his book, he has given a scheme named Pura. Pura means providing urban amenities in the rural areas. That means in rural areas, certain amenities which we are offering in the urban areas should be transferred, right? So the scheme has 4 features. First of all, physical connectivity. Physical connectivity say that the villages should be connected with the finished markets through roads. Electricity should be provided to them. Digital connectivity says that different kinds of telecommunication facilities should be given to them. Broadband services connectivity should be given to them so that they become digitally present. Knowledge connectivity means the effort should be made to enhance their knowledge by setting up different schools, colleges, universities, educational institutions, training centers, so that their knowledge can be enhanced. Then economic connectivity means they should be connected with the economic activities of the country in order to enhance their production. Different factories, outlets should be set up. So we are done with this chapter. Thank you so much.